Macne Nana's release of January 2014 was certainly unique. Nana was the first Vocaloid to have already had a voice synthesizer voice bank from a different engine, as well as the first UTAU voice bank to become a Vocaloid. She was announced and released in the months following the Vocaloid 3 engine's adoption of Mac OS X support, and she was a character who already had a fair-sized fanbase dedicated to her and the other Macne characters. Nana was a character Mac users could rally around, with a very sweet-sounding Japanese voice bank and even a separate English voice bank. Yet what was most interesting about Nana was her development, which was anything but ordinary. While the Macne series voice banks are technically commercial products, at least their 2S versions, they are very inexpensive compared to Vocaloids, so the development company behind the Macne series, known as MI7 Japan and Ikezawa Haruna, Nana's voice provider, didn't have the money to develop a Vocaloid. Together they pitched the idea of a Nana Vocaloid 3 voice bank to Yamaha, who suggested they talk to AtH Software. But AtH Software didn't have the means to fund such a project and turned them down. MI7 Japan considered developing the voice bank on its own, but that would be difficult for such a small team, and one with no Vocaloid experience no less. But even if it did complete Vocaloid voice banks for Nana, MI7 Japan would never be able to afford to distribute her. Eventually, a deal was made with B-Plats. B-Plats agreed to fund Nana's development and to take care of publishing and distributing her, which is what finally got Nana's Vocaloid project started. Aside from the usual business stuff, one requirement B-Plats made for the deal was that Nana would be sold exclusively on the main Vocaloid store. This point was beneficial for Westerners interested in Nana, as both of her voice banks also appeared on the English Vocaloid store, as downloads and even as physical copies. But Nana's development took a lot longer than anyone initially expected. I don't know precisely when work began, but Miss Ikezawa and a Mr. Shin Kuma, who I believe is from MI7 Japan, were interviewed by DTM magazine in March of 2014, and Mr. Shinkuma said that it took about 1,000 hours to develop Nana's voice banks. It took that long because both of Nana's voice banks were re-recorded and then revised numerous times because they felt they could do better. Nana's Japanese voice bank was restarted 6 times, or went through 6 revisions. But it was Nana's English voice bank that nearly monopolized development time. The English voice bank went through 11 versions. But Miss Ikezawa really wanted Nana to have an English voice bank, and she took it as a personal challenge to make it work well. This plan of course had to be pre-approved by B-Plats, and it was, despite it significantly pushing back Nana's release date. In fact, B-Plats agreed to even more than what was ultimately released. Ms. Ikezawa didn't try to make an English voice bank on a whim. She can speak English with some fluency. But she can apparently also speak other languages, including Mandarin, Chinese, and French. A prototype Chinese voice bank was created for Nana as she was being developed, and Ms. Ikezawa also wanted to attempt a French voice bank after seeing the potential of VoxWave's concept for a French Vocaloid. In fact, Ms. Ikezawa and the Macne project still want to keep Nana's Chinese voice bank as a possibility for the future. Since Alice changed to the Sevio engine though, they decided that a French voice bank for Nana is highly unlikely, which is probably for the best. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Nana has done too well as a Vocaloid. It didn't help that she released less than a week before Meiko V3, which bit into her potential sales severely. Her English voice bank is also fairly expensive due to its complicated development, which makes her combo package overly expensive compared to other Vocaloids. While her voice banks can be used together to good effect because they share the same tempo range, they also share the same single octave recommended vocal range, which is pretty shallow. The Japanese voice bank should have had a larger range, but the 2 voice banks were developed to match intentionally. It's sad because I like Nana's voice. I think it has personality. But fans of Nana's original GarageBand and UTAU voice banks complain that her Vocaloid voice banks lack the same power or sharpness, and I can understand that. Nana's V3 voice bank is definitely different in tone from her UTAU 2S voice bank. That said, the tone of her V3 voice banks is still enjoyable, and even though her pronunciation is pretty terrible, people praise the sound of her English voice bank. At the end of her first year, Nana may not have a ton of songs made with her V3 voice banks, but her fans remain dedicated and passionate. For example, starting I believe in 2012, a Pixiv user named Momoshiro has been holding an annual festival each July called Nana Reggae, where he or she invites people to submit artwork, music, or videos of Nana and the other Macne family characters with a reggae or Caribbean theme. Why? I have no idea. But anyway, I sincerely hope that if Nana was even a tiny commercial success, that the powers that be will consider making more Vocaloid voice banks from the Macne family.
Stop taking forever I do. How long have I been out? I don't know. I can't get a grip, but I can let go. There wasn't anything to hold on to though. Why can't I see? Why can't I see all the colors that you see? Please can I be? Please can I be colorblind boy? What the hell's going on? Can someone tell me please? Why are you switching は来る父はの絶対 Can never go back That things I've seen In those crazy rain Can't compare to what I'm feeling now Everything's so different That it brings me to my knees I know That all the way emotion has surrounded me I won't be doing now I know that all is only by my heart Can't do it I hear your voice calling out Tell me you never be 星の眠る午前中部屋を照らす月明かり不意に届く招待状黒い海の影ひとつ嘘で作った笑顔をつけて見えない傷増やしてゆく君のことを教えてほしいんださあ夢の中へもっともっと近づいてほらずっとささやいて私と一緒に踊りましょうゆらゆら手招いてこの胸の奥に秘めたものさらけ出してこぼれてく罪の味闇に溶ける今これから私は君に暗示をかけるいいじゃね軽く目を閉じてみて私がいいよって言うまでそのままだよ余計なものが見えなくてだって都合が悪いことだってあるし口しちゃいけないことくらい私だってちゃんと持ってたりするんです君を独り占めしてもいいかなちょっとの間だけ許してほしいまちまち見つめてしまっているな穴が開いちゃうくらい見ているんです